Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to Spooks with Ams. If you are liking this video, please leave a thumbs up and do a subscribe down at the bottom and hit that bell and a notification every time that I upload. I will be uploading 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And with further ado, let's get into the video. So where we left off was when I was 15. We barely moved into my house, and my sister and brother-in-law held the middle room. And every little detail that I put in here just is really important. It is relevant to the story. So basically I started hearing footsteps coming down the hallway. My door started rattling. My night light would switch on and off by itself. And again, I grew up in Florida, so, things like that was very common. If you're from there, you know that shortages happen, lights go out, things flicker because tornadoes and the weather is just, can be really terrible there sometimes. So I was being rational and I was thinking that's what it was. Well, it found out it wasn't, and it was something far more sinister. And it was something that just haunted my family for a year, and it wasn't 1 but 2 demons. It's a very real story and it's insane. So I started hearing all of those experiences, and I started hearing footsteps coming down to my hallway in the middle of the night when my entire family was asleep. There was no one there and there was nothing to explain it. And my mom and I are both very spiritual people. We can really sense things. We can sense when things are off. I live far away from Florida now, and I can still sense things. It's either looked at as a gift or a curse. I look at it as a gift, and it ended up being a really good thing that we both caught on to what was going on. And it was funny because one thing that I was experiencing, my mother wasn't. My brother-in-law, my sister at the time, and my dad, they don't believe in the paranormal. They never have. They don't believe in ghosts. So there was just one experience that my sister had this entire time that they lived here for a year that this haunting took place. She was sleeping one day, and she said that she put it to herself to tell me, and she didn't know why she wanted to, but she had this drive to tell me the next day about what happened to her. She was sleeping on the top bunk of the bed with her husband. And she said that she just had a huge whop on the back of the head. And she said that she turned around, no one was there. She didn't see anything, she didn't hear anything. And she woke up and she just had this pain on the back of her head, like someone just straight up hit it. So that was the first eye-opener for me, aside from what was going on with me, that really verified, okay, there's more things going on here that I'm not seeing or experiencing. So that definitely gave me the clue that there was the second entity. After that, my sister, she just kind of asked me what I thought about it. Asked me, what do you think it could be? And in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, sis, this is something paranormal, but I didn't have the heart to tell her because I knew she probably wouldn't believe me anyway. So I just went on and I just kind of shrugged it off and told her, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just something in your dream, because sometimes you can have lucid dreams where you actually experience pain, where you experience things. And that can scare you, it scares your body, and it scares you awake. So I just told her with that, and she went along with it and believed it. And I told my mom about it, separate from my sister knowing. And my mom immediately was like, okay, this is definitely something going on in the house. This is not something that should be taken lightly. So eventually, after a few months, things on their part, again, I was experiencing different things from them, but things on their part just kind of simmered down a bit. My mom would still hear and see that entity, and the funny thing is it didn't scare her. That entity didn't scare her. She didn't think it was a demon. I did, but she didn't. She said that she didn't feel anything sinister from it. She actually thinks that it could have been protecting my niece and nephew, because they also slept in that middle room, from what was actually haunting me. And the freakiest thing that made it so real for me was that no one else was experiencing what I was experiencing. They weren't hearing the footsteps. They weren't hearing the doorknob twist. They weren't seeing the things that I was seeing. And it just got far more worse from there for me. And again, in my first part, I explained how I always did the prayer, and how that would help. And it really, I believe, in some way saved my life. And I know how dramatic that sounds, but it's very real when you're in those type of situations where you're just terrified and you're petrified, and you don't know what to do. So closing your eyes and praying was the best thing that I could do to help myself, because what else was I gonna do? Run past it? It got to the point where I would wake up, and in the first part I was explaining how my closet was lifted up about 2 or 3 feet off the ground, obviously on wood, but the drawers were built in. But the wooden drawers were built in, so like the dressers and then my closet itself was like 2 or 3 feet off the ground. So you'd have to like open them. I really loved those. That closet was so cool, but you'd have to take it and then open it from the sides. But this entity, and the freaky thing about it, guys, was that it was black. It was completely black, but it was blacker than my room. And I had a nightlight on, so it really lit the room up pretty well. And I would wake up every night, 12 a.m. on the dot, like clockwork. It was insane. And I would wake up and I'd see it in the corner of the room, where there was like where my door would open. The closet doors were there as well. So it was really weird how they built it like that, because you couldn't have your door and the closet door open at the same time. Does that make sense? So visualizing where my dresser would be right here, and then the door would be right beside it, like I can't do, so like that. So this is the door, and this is where my closet was on the side of the wall. This door would rattle and it would shake, and then it would open up. Okay, and at that point I was still again thinking, okay, it's just probably my niece or nephew that's scared. They want to come cuddle with me. You know, I didn't think much about it until I realized that this thing would walk in and it would just stand at the corner of my room, right there between my door frame and my closet, and it would just sit there and it would stare at me. And I would just pray. I'd pray it away automatically. As soon as I see it, I would pray it away, and it would go away, and I'd wake up the next morning and I'd be fine. But that doesn't take away the fact that it's still so terrifying and so real. And guys, that's going to conclude this part of the story. We're going to be doing more parts. I'm going to be uploading 3 days a week, so you can catch me anytime on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Guys, that'll be it. Have a good day. Bye.